I wanted to wait a few days and let the dust settle before I talked about that that three-ring circus that was the Iowa Caucus. I have been watching politics closely-ish since about the '08 election. And before that, I had been looking into them and finding out stuff just to keep up with what was going on in the world. I've always been a weird person like that. And I have never, ever seen anything as insane as what happened with the Iowa caucus. I've never seen a shit show that fast. I have seen parties go into absolute shit show mode, like the 2012 Republican nomination. Oh, that was a fun time. But holy shit, this was unbelievable. uh, I honestly don't know where to start with how insane this was. First of all, the company that did a phone app that allowed you to vote in the Iowa caucus, which, by the way, god damn it, stop with making these phone apps for voting shit. I'm a very big proponent of the classic paper ballot, because it's kind of hard to fuck up a paper ballot. Now, I know what you're saying, 2000 election. That was a lot to do with machines as well. I think that if you're going to do machines, do a paper ballot as well. And I think that's what happened with the Iowa caucus. They did both the phone app and a paper ballot, but not really. It's kind of weird how everything just sort of mishmashed and all sort of just snowballed downhill into this nightmare. But the big takeaway is that the phone app, the company that made the phone app, I'm sorry, they're called Shadow. Because why hide it anymore? A company called Shadow, whose CEO, CTO, and COO were all former Hillary staff members. What? That's not suspicious at all. And whose CEO is actually a Buttigieg supporter. I think I'm pronouncing that right. God, if I can pronounce that collection of syllables. And by weird coincidence, even though Buttigieg has been pulling fourth or thereabouts in every single poll, he won. He has the most delegates, and he got the second most votes. But because they do a electoral college style system for the caucus, he won the most electorates from, or delegates from, the caucus, because he had the most individual plots, even though Sanders had by a good chunk the most votes. But hey, electoral college is evil, right, Democrats? So, just by weird coincidence, people that were on Hillary's staff and a man that is open and adamant Buttigieg supporter had issues with their device that they had allegedly been preparing for months, even though we now find out that no, they actually didn't. They were offered opportunities for people to look into it and help, and they just turned it down. And coincidentally, Buttigieg is the one that wins, even though he was showing nowhere near that initially, and he had a speech that he released on Twitter before any kind of announcement was released that he had won. I'm having flashbacks to 2016, and that's not a good indication. I I don't know how the Democrats can salvage this. They had a debate over in New Hampshire in the lead up to the New Hampshire caucus that's happening tomorrow, and oh, That was a giant ringing endorsement for Trump. Orange man bad. We must vote Orange man out. Okay, so what are your policies? What are you going to do? How are you going to change the things that Trump has done? We are not going to do Orange man things because Orange man bad. Trump 2020. Like, that's all you need to do at this point. That really is. Just like, put up snippets of the fucking debates as your campaign advertisements. That's all you need. The Democratic Party is going through a fracturing. A fracturing the likes of which that the Republicans had seen about a decade earlier with the Tea Party. It's just that the Democrat Party, for reasons that completely and totally escape me, refuses to acknowledge that a fracturing is happening. And in doing so, they are making their party worse. If they just naturally let the fracture happen and then sort of refold it back in, like the Republicans did, they'd be fine. They may lose this election, but they'd be able to come back strong for the next one. Now, no, they're trying to deny it, and that's making it worse because they're trying to keep everything together when everything is trying to tear each other apart. The only thing that the Democrats seem to all agree on right now is that Trump is bad. Anything else, you put 10 Democrats in a room, anything else they can't agree on, you'll get 10 different opinions. And normally I am very happy to see different opinions like that, but this, considering that they all keep saying that no, we must unify, we must agree on everything, we must do all this exactly the same, I'm seeing very contradictory messages. I'm glad to see differing opinions, but Jesus, when your differing opinions are making you worse rather than better, maybe you should, I don't know, start thinking about doing different things rather than forcing everyone all into the same little box. I remember the '04 primaries for the Democrats. That went relatively smoothly. And then John Kerry ended up winning. And people were like, John Kerry, what the fuck? Why John Kerry? John Kerry is the living cure for insomnia. Who the fuck wanted him? And years later, I think that it's become relatively common knowledge that the reason Kerry got the '04 nomination is because they were effectively expecting him to lose so that it'd be really easy for Hillary to then come in for '08 and get that when there would be no incumbent president in place. Then Obama came and just derailed that whole plan. I don't think that that's a situation that's going on right here. I don't think that the Democrats are intentionally like destroying themselves to bring up someone for 2024 because I don't see who they have. Hillary was a very, very obvious choice in '08. And that was noticeable from '04. I don't see who they have here is the issue. And I don't think they do either. I think right now they're in a scrambling phase and they just really need to rework a lot of stuff. And let's be honest, I think that this election is a wash for them. Like, they're going through the motions and they want to win, obviously, but I don't think that they expect to. But I've seen stranger things, like, for example, Trump actually winning. So who knows anymore. But I think that in many ways, I think the Democrats, if they have any shred of sanity, they see this election as a wash. They're just prepping for the next election. I just don't see who, but maybe I'm just not noticing something. Either way, even if that is the case, which I don't think it is, if that was the case, you'd think that they would try and tone down the crazy because they're just making themselves look bad. This election, I'm seeing, well, what happened with this election right now, in that it seems to be fucking over Sanders again, and then in the 2016 election, which very blatantly fucked over Sanders to the point where they've admitted it, I'm having flashbacks to the 2012 election or the 2012 primaries for the Republicans, where they did everything in their power to screw over Ron Paul. And again, that's not a good sign. People were royally pissed about the Ron Paul thing, and then when Mitt Romney ended up getting the primary nomination, that just went swimmingly for him. Like, his own party, while trying to be unified for him, was very much against him, and then Mitt Romney just does what Mitt Romney does and opened his mouth. And that was the end of that. I am trying to figure out what the fuck is going on here with the caucus, because there are so many different things from so many different angles that it could be. This very blatantly is a screw job to Sanders. That much I'm pretty sure we can all agree on. Who, what, or why? There's too many ideas going around, and I can't figure it out. Maybe someone else has a better idea or could throw me an idea that sounds plausible. But there's just so many different angles and so many different things that could be happening here. I don't quite know what it is. And normally what you want to do is you want to do this at the end of the election, a la Democrats in 2016, so that you could at least unify or try to unify the party behind one person, even after you admit, yeah, I committed a screw job, tough shit, I'm here now, suck it. You don't want to do it at the beginning when people get really, really pissed and you are now effectively incentivizing them to not even go out and vote. And that's the scary part for the Democrats. Say what you will about Republicans. They are consistent in how they go out to vote. Election after election after election, the Republican numbers stay consistent. It's the Democrat numbers that heavily fluctuate. And giving the Democrat voting base a reason not to go out is not what you want to do. Why I'm giving the Democrats advice right now, I don't know, because quite frankly, I don't want any of them to win, because they are all jokes. But I don't like living under a one-party system either, and I would rather the Republicans had some actual competition rather than just a three-ring circus. I'm just amazed by what's going on. It's been a show to watch, to say the least, but it's been a show that makes me want to bang my head against the wall. I came in wanting to see something like Star Trek Next Generation. I go out watching something like Picard. Ugh. What the fuck is going on anymore? I don't think it could get any worse, but ha ha ha, I've been proven wrong every single time there's a debate, so why not every time there's a caucus now? Oh, this is going to be fun next 3-4 months. I am not looking forward to it. I can only take so much. Please, please, Democrats, have mercy on my sanity. I've only got so much to spare. This has been Math Machine saying that democracy is dead because Trump is in office, as we are in election year and we are actually in the process of voting for the candidate to go up against him. We live in strange times where people will just say whatever and hope it sticks. Peace out.